What's up, TV Besties? Welcome and welcome back. I'm your girl Ash. If you are new here, y'all, we are about to get into Marriage at First Sight, episode like 12. Y'all, things was getting hot. Y'all know, your girl was all giddy. All things was getting hot, steamy, and sexy, and I was like feeling like really good vibes about like this episode. Even though some people ain't progressing, and I know that some people just possibly might not work out. The previews, y'all, I think we're about to get to the messy part. I think we're about to get to when things start to get messy and real. Like, yeah, so what's good? If you're new here, stick around for a little bit. Go ahead and watch some other videos. We got to see if you like it, girl. If you do, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But of course, please like the video because that helps your girl out. And I know y'all want to do that. I know y'all want to support your girl. So thanks for doing that. So, y'all, Marriage at First Sight. Your girl got the iPad for the notes. Yeah, this is episode 12. Yes, get into the crust. Because get into the crust was all about Clint wanting to get to the crust. His desire still is to get to know Gina. Who is Gina? What's her desires? What makes Gina Gina? What makes her tick? Like, whatever. So, our girl, Dr. Pepper. My girl, Dr. Pepper, this was her episode to come in, give the couple some guidance or whatnot. And in the areas of Gina and Clint, they're letting her know that, of course, like they're on this, fun vibe, just having fun with each other. And she's like, nah, fun ain't going to sustain the marriage. What can we do, to help like get deep with each other? And really, the fishbowl game, as long as you're open, that fishbowl game really does help to get deep and help to like steer those right questions. Or if you just feel like you don't know how to weigh about or go about the conversation, because even when talking with Dr. Pepper, they were talking about basically how he could get her to be vulnerable or whatnot. And she's like, basically, he needs to ask me the specific question, like come out and specifically say it. And he's more on the end like, yeah, that doesn't feel genuine, that doesn't feel natural, whatever. Like, you want to know or you don't want to know. So you're going to fight with her because she doesn't want to do it the way she does it is not in a more natural state, and you just got to more ask a question that makes you feel uncomfortable because it makes you feel like a Q&A. You got to just give a little bit, just give a little compromise a little bit. And it's not even just to say that, oh, well, he has to do that in order for her, but it's like, both of them, either way, all the couples in some way have to be uncomfortable in some form in order to successfully move in their marriages, honestly. And I think that's just anybody, even in general. So I don't even want to even just point them out in general. But with the fishbowl game, that really helped to like basically Clint got the crust. Clint was able to get a little crust, right? He was able to get a little crust because some of those questions are basically a repeat of what had conversations with Dr. Pepper, but then as well, like, I'm sure there's so many experiences, there's so many things that you could say or you could talk about that has impacted you in, some way, especially from childhood, whatever. Because really what happens in childhood is what impacts us to be who we are, as, adults, and even not even just in childhood and just growing up experiences and things of that nature. So Clint got the crust. Clint got the crust. It took the fishbowl games and look, the direct questions, what she was basically saying, for him to get, a little bit of something that he didn't have, before. Not to say that, oh, now he has her all in completely, but that's getting somewhere. They've got somewhere compared to, where they were. But it's nice to see that, Chris, Nicole's dad is growing on Chris or whatever, whatnot. If I'm not mistaken, he did go ahead and give the okay, to call him dad. I don't think, clearly, from the yoga, experience that they all had together, that his walls are completely down, completely. But I think as time goes on and he starting to see Chris for who he is, and then seeing how Chris makes Nicole feel and how that looks for Nicole, I think that's what slowly, bringing down those walls in his guard, when it comes to Chris. But that whole dad thing, because y'all know he was stern on that. He was like, call me whatever his name is, because I can't remember his name. Not that that is all important. But as I'm sitting here like going over, and I was like, so what was their issue that they had to bring to Dr. Pepper, really, that they kind of wanted to help work through with her? Because I don't know. Because I don't know. Because I'm completely like, so wait. So I know that Nicole and Chris kind of like really mirror each other a whole lot as far as like who they were, and like in their past relationships and things of that nature. So, she's like basically where, what did I have here? She's on the end. She never, she could never be vulnerable. She felt like she could never be vulnerable, whereas, and because that, she felt like basically that would impact the relationship, and then Chris was always vulnerable, and then that would impact the relationship. So I think basically their own, obviously, like everybody else, your own past issues you don't want to bring into it, but those things of how they were, who they were, because like every time I hear and listen to Nicole talk about how this guy told her that if he loved her, he would burn her with a cigarette, like if she loved him, he would let her burn. Get it together. If she loved him, she would let him burn her with a cigarette. What the type, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming at her or judging her, but it that speaks volumes to the place that you have to be mentally to say yes. It's a place I hope I would never be about someone. Not even about someone, just even within myself. Because clearly, it's clearly a self thing. It's more of a self thing. It's not a them thing. It's a self thing. So we're going to make that in clear. It's a self thing. I don't want to even be there with myself. And I feel like at any moment we could, in some way, end up there. It's but a step over the realm there. People snap all the time, So to me, it can be just like that in a sense. So for them, I know basically a big thing for them is basically like because things are going so good. Well, not even just for them, would say just for Nicole, is basically that ball drop that they're just waiting for that. She's just waiting for that ball to drop and worried that once that ball drops, it's not going to, it's going to affect the happiness because they're so happy and they're so content and then they're just so good right now and just waiting for that. Like, yeah, and when it falls, I feel like she's just like, it's going to fall so hard. And I feel like, I guess she thinks that they're not going to come back from it because things are just so good. And I just feel like the ball is going to drop and it's going to be like, okay, it fell, but it wasn't as bad as it seemed. But it's not even to say that it's, that it's not going to be better. But I feel like once it does drop, though, it kind of just takes the pressure off of it, though, and waiting for it to happen and wondering, like, will it be the end all be all? And I think either way, that's what it is. That's what it is. I think it just came to me. They worry that themselves is what's going to be the hindrance of the relationships, like his people pleasing, like his, such, vulnerability, and her of not being vulnerable and being that, Nicole, basically. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Y'all definitely let me know, what y'all thinking or whatever or whatnot and how y'all thinking about that. All right, so our last two couples definitely just shocked me and impaired me in all kinds of different ways or whatever, whatnot. So they definitely had to be our last two for the night. But we're going to save the best for last, of course, with Shaq and Kirsten. And we're going to go ahead and get into Eris and Jasmine, which literally the episode is starting with her talking about going deep. And then the opportunity to go deep, she shuts down. Like, make that make sense in a perfect world. Like, finally, you're getting here. It's direct. It's right here. And then, and I want to give her grace because I think it just came, maybe, I don't want to say it came at the wrong time, but maybe they just didn't need to do it in that moment or maybe in that setting. Maybe she needed a second to kind of just like woosah, take things in. You know, a lot has been, you know, really like going on with them. A lot, but at the same time, not a lot at the same time. You know, you get what I'm saying. So it was definitely, I think, definitely pertinent that they sat with Dr. Pepper and, you know, both of them really getting out, you know, those vulnerabilities. And then for it to turn around and her to be unresponsive, it was just like, this is where we keep things going, Jasmine. This is where we keep up the momentum. This is where we, you know, keep digging that deep, that deep, that deep, that deep. And sis was like, nah, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. To the point where even, and it makes me like, oh, like, what was it that really bothered me about Eris so bad? Because you see him clearly trying to make an initiative, like him reaching out to her mom, having to talk with her mom, trying to, you know, be like, hey, like, how can I, you know, when she is shutting down, like, how can I pull this out of her? And how, like, I was sitting here just like, girl, you kidding me, right? I know you ain't literally got brain farts for like literally. He is finally giving it to you, talking, and you were like, and I'm just sitting here like, are you maybe realizing maybe even the space that you might even now be setting for him when y'all might have further conversations and wanting to be vulnerable? He like, why should I even be vulnerable when you can't even like, sis, sis. He was going deep, and you was all right. But okay, I don't necessarily get it because I've never been in a situation like that. But I can empathize, and I guess I can, you know, see how, you know, right now she could have, you know, just shutting down in the moment and just kind of just like, you know, just like, you know, for now, and had nothing for it because basically that's what it was. She had nothing for it in that moment. And I just keep looking at her and I'm just like, how are you not like finding this girl attractive? They're just sitting there with Dr. Pepper. And I'm like, y'all look just so nice together. Y'all look so cute together. Like, what is the issue here? Even for her to be like, you know, hey, you know, Dr. Pepper, I mean, like, it may not even be you, Jasmine. Like, you worried about it even being you, and it might not even, you know, necessarily even, you know, be you at all. Some gotta give, y'all. Some gotta give. Maybe looks like next episode something might be given a little bit. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. I'm definitely here for it because I peeps. I good old other peeps. I good old other peeps. Shaq and Kirsten. Oh, my boys scored. My boy said, you got this player? You got this player? And that player had it. He had it, even though he ain't a player. But you get what I'm saying. You know, using that like that, you know, slang, urban, you know, yeah. So, yes. I don't know why I want to just keep saying Eris. I don't know why Eris just keeps wanting to be on my mind. But so Shaquille and Kirsten, they basically had, you know, they kind of wanted to get with Dr. Pepper, kind of like discuss, like communicating with each other, especially kind of like, you know, when they're in like disagreements or, you know, stuff like that or whatever or whatnot. Because, you know, last episode, you know, the whole situation with her, you know, things being on her time and like things got real, you know, a little heated for them or whatever or whatnot. And I guess they never really came, you know, to some type of resolve, you know, with it. And shoot, I would actually have loved to know that myself. Like, what do you do when you really don't come to a resolve with your spouse or even just significant other? I guess I've never really, besides not do anything. Because we're famous for doing that. I know about doing that. I know about just not doing anything at all and just, you know, talking or having an argument about it. And then that's just it. So, no, let me tell you what really had me tripping. What really had me tripping, y'all, Besties, what really had me tripping is this whole time, like, I'm thinking they doing some kissing. I'm thinking they kissing on the lips or like or something like that. And when Shaq is telling the story and her not getting kisses and da-da-da, and literally you is over here crying over forehead kisses. You is crying over forehead kisses. Y'all, what? Dr. Pepper was like, y'all need to be moving past here, you know, forget all this, you know, moving past it being on her time. She's now ready. Let go of the fact that she wasn't ready because she's now here. We're here. So it's time to move forward. And I think a lot of times sometimes the men just do need to put their foot down. They do just need to take that initiative and take that first step and kind of just go in for it sometimes to just see. But I get you don't want to be rejected. You don't want to make the woman uncomfortable. But at the same time, the way things have been going with Kirsten and Shaq, yeah, he should have been like went on and just tried to go forward that. She over here playing the way she all like want to be on you and under you and forehead kisses all the time and getting upset because you left without the forehead kiss, girl. You girl, what that forehead kiss doing to you, girl? What is that doing for you, girl? Because it must be doing something. So, yo, Shaq knew the assignment. He heard what Dr. Pepper said about taking that lead, putting that foot down. That boy came out, and like, first off, you saw it was kind of like already brewing, right? Y'all thought it was already brewing because, was it Kirsten had went to him for like talking about like a logo or drawing up a logo and you know, creating a website. So they're like just sitting there talking about it. He's drawing stuff up and she's liking it, and she's just already talking. She's talking about like in her interviews and stuff how, you know, a man, you know, being about his business and stuff like that, she finds, you know, like attractive or turns her on is what she said. So I'm like, I said, okay, we getting there. We getting close. So I'm like, okay, my boy, I'm like, my boy taking the lead. He doing this, you know, body paint. And I'm just like from the body painting because first off, we talk about the chemistry and we talk about the word and coming out the mouth, the meaning, the double meaning of it. Of when he was like, what he said, what Shaq said, you gotta trust me with your body. And she was like, I do. And I was, either way, you got to trust me with your body, even in this moment when I'm painting you. But in other ways, you got to trust me with your body. I was like, Shaq, you bet. Oh. I was like, okay, y'all getting into this. Y'all better get into me. Y'all better get intimate in here. Y'all, I was tripping. I was sitting here weak for them all giddy and smiles and blushing and stuff. So, all right, boom, he doing this little painting and, you know, touch it, you know, do it, touch it, just touch. I like touch. Touch is one of my love languages. So, like, one of my top love languages. So, I'm like, yeah, touch me, dang. You want to paint me, man? Like that. Child, all right, Ashley, get on, get yourself together, get it together, get yourself together now. But then he take it further. He take it further, y'all. Y'all should have just heard me in here hollering at them on the TV. He take it further. He gets some whipped cream. He gets some strawberries. And my boy was like, you trust me, you trust me, you trust me. I think we all know, like, what popped off. What popped off. She was like, yeah, let's go on and get washed off. And no, she did. No. Let me tell you what gave it away. Let me tell you what really gave it away or whatever, whatnot. Because you know whatnot. Kirsten going to be a lady about it or whatever, whatnot. And so I guess, you know, in her interview, they were asking her, like, you know, were they possibly going to take it to the next level? She was, like, basically saying, you know, it's between, you know, him and her. But the way, like, she was looking and like she did her mouth and like bit her lip, I was like, oh, it's on. It is on. It's about to be on. Y'all make sure y'all let me know y'all thoughts about this episode because next week It's about to get real cracking. It's about to get real cracking. And I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. Drop me some hearts down below. Purple hearts preferably if you made it this far in the video. And as always, peace and love. I'll see y'all in the next one.